Okay, once again, the domestic terrorist organization operating from Unit 207. Once again, the domestic terrorist organization operating at Unit 207, 21 Highland Avenue, i.e., the North Everett precinct of domestic terrorists, child abusers, kidnappers, and absolutely not officers. Never involved in any sort of legitimate operation involving my name, and always involved in a domestic terrorist organization, an aggravated criminal conspiracy, a criminal enterprise, is continuing to criminally and illegally obstruct justice, preventing contact with the FBI, including to send offline videos, which are being recorded on the Lenovo ThinkPad. Additionally, they keep criminally and illegally shutting off these things. So this is the Lenovo ThinkPad. This is a device that was instructed by the FBI to be used to record offline the whole time and then to send them the offline recordings in the event that this domestic terrorist organization proceeded with their plans and threats and their criminal conduct since February 11th. And they have. This morning, they've prevented any and all sending of any offline recordings to the FBI or the sheriffs. They have tampered with, obstructed, erased, and changed the files and corrupted them and prevented them from going to Google Drive, men and women. Last night, they were visited at 10 p.m., between 10 p.m. and 10:27 p.m. by someone who they felt that they were able to convince not to arrest them and their domestic terrorist organization, someone they feel confident that they bamboozled and got to join them as the domestic terrorist organization that they are. And then after that, shortly after that, they also it shows here that they're criminally and illegally erasing the descriptions within the video that the FBI has instructed me to put in there because of their domestic terrorist organization, including the preceding live stream that they criminally and illegally terminated. The females and males upstairs within the domestic terrorist organization are happy and confident that they can make this all go away. And I'm sure that the FBI will let them do whatever they want because, as has been recorded in the fifth addendum, which was served and also published on facebook.com/Mystic Gwen Loves Only You, that they've attempted to criminally and illegally obstruct from anyone viewing using the law enforcement Facebook portal and their complete misuse and abuse of power and criminality within their domestic terrorist organization. Again, what is it? It's never been an operation. There is no legitimacy to any claims of it being an operation. There is not a legal operation in history that condones abusing disabled children for 13 months, for kidnapping those children, for using those children in your domestic terrorist organization to perpetrate felonies that you plan and I report for 19 days while your domestic terrorist organization obstructs justice. Nor is there any immunity regardless of your delusions otherwise. They're already actively, again, continuing to try to terminate this one. They may have already. Apparently, the preceding live stream, they were somehow able to get rid of the description in a further act of domestic terrorism. Are we still connected at 8:13 a.m.? I don't hear anything. Once again, it's showing no viewers, and that's because of the domestic terrorist upstairs. That's the reason for that. So there are details in the description. As you've seen yourself, I'll show you again, but I expect they'll criminally and illegally get rid of it. I am recording offline. These recordings, they are corrupting. They are preventing from adding to the Google Drive. And most importantly, they are preventing me from emailing to the Seattle FBI or the Snohomish County Sheriffs. There's also a fifth addendum that was filed yesterday and was posted on Facebook and was sent to everyone, including the sheriffs and the FBI. But this domestic terrorist organization has been preventing who gets what and tampering and obstructing justice at every turn. According to the FBI, quote, there will be an exodus at the North Everett precinct. Also, according to the domestic terrorist organization, as recently as yesterday at midnight, before they began perpetrating these acts of domestic terrorism at a whole new level, they were planning to break and enter and perpetrate some other felonies ASAP. I wouldn't be surprised if it was today or tomorrow, especially given their premeditated criminal enterprise has always stipulated that they want to criminally and illegally terminate the live streams before the final breaking and entering. What they don't realize is that the FBI will be here even if they do that, and it will be all of them that end up going to jail. That's what will really happen. And then you'll be charged for all of this because it will be on your indictments, which will be the paperwork you get at your arraignment after you've been booked in King County Jail. Now, I'm sure they'll terminate this and probably erase hours of footage or perpetrate some of the many crimes that their domestic terrorist organization has been guilty of, particularly since February 1st. But I need to follow the rest of the contingency plans that their criminal conduct have elicited, which means the Lenovo ThinkPad is once again getting connected to the internet. I know you love that, you domestic terrorists upstairs. Are we still connected at 8:18 a.m.? Are we still connected at 8:18 a.m.? Are we still connected at 8:18 a.m.? Are we still connected at It's 8:19 a.m. I can't tell if we're still connected or not.
8:19 a.m. I can't tell if we're still connected or not. 8:19 a.m. I can't tell if we're still connected or not. 8:19 a.m. I can't tell if we're still connected or not. 8:19
Have you played Hi-Fi Casino yet? Hi-Fi. Have you played Hi-Fi Casino yet? Hi-Fi. Have you played Hi-Fi Casino? Massive selection of over 1,200 games, including hundreds of exclusive games you can only find on Hi-Fi Casino. Best of all, it's always free to play, and free coins are given out every 4 hours. Ready to have your own Hi-Fi moment? Visit hi5casino.com. That's hi5casino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions
This
apply.
is yesterday's episode of Time Suck with Dan Cummins. It's the history of castration. I don't really want to hear it, but I don't really have like a specific podcast I want to listen to. And this guy's podcast is a good little distraction, albeit temporarily, usually within the first 10 minutes of the topic. This is just something that makes me space out or
fees on your first 3 orders. Excludes restaurant orders.
Either of which I'd appreciate. I'm also going to smoke a couple puffs of this highly taxed, totally legal, wacky tobacco, which I think will greatly improve my mood. As last night concluded that
comments,
I
and today
basically
I will be
need
talking
3
about
puffs of
sniffing out the
marijuana
cotton
like
balls.
every 8
or
hours
at least the balls.
while
Sometimes
this
the cotton.
domestic terrorist
They're not always having
organization
them snipped out.
continues to be
We're
what
talking
it
about
is,
castration.
and I continue
Why?
to wait for them to all
Because
become.
I'm curious, and certainly also demented, and possibly also insane. Castration is defined by the Journal of Urology as any action, surgical or chemical, by which an individual loses the use of the gonads, particularly testicles. Today we're diving into the history of castration. We'll be exploring the many unique and horrifying ways it has been performed in the past versus how it is achieved now, figuring out who historically gets castrated and for what reasons. And we'll look
Young
at some of the
boys
current
to keep
arguments
their
for and
voices
against the
high for the
procedure.
Venetian
Then,
choir.
if you're the owner of a set of nuts, I'm going to find you. And I'm going to
Oh, what
snip
were
them
those
off.
people called? That's
Maybe
like
I'm gonna hammer
job
'em
was
flat.
to live.
And
They
then
were
we're
like
gonna talk about
men
how you
that
feel.
lived inside
Worse.
of like
Much
where the
worse.
concubines
Or
lived.
maybe a little lighter, more
What were those
carefree.
Enochs?
Calm down. Not gonna do
Enochs
that.
were boys that got castrated.
Or
A
maybe
whole
I'm
bunch
right
of people
behind
have been
you,
cutting
some
the nuts
ether
off of
and a pair
men
of
for
pruning shears, and I
as
am going
long
to do
as
that.
men have existed. And you know what I
Ready.
think? I think it's
This is gonna be a
fucked
weird one.
up, dude.
Words and ideas can change the
I
world.
hated it, but I wanted to love my mother.
I have a dream.
I'll plead not guilty right now.
Your only chance is to leave with us.
Though it seldom appears in today's world, unless you're talking about the spider from Game of Thrones, castration has long been one of the most enduring practices in human history. Almost every culture across every period has implemented some form of castration in one way or another, and all of them have done so for one or more of the following 4 reasons. 1, to punish someone. 2, honor their god or gods. 3, treat the sick. Or 4, to help your mama get some vengeance. Real 4 now. To produce a certain type of worker. Today we're going to explore who in history has been castrated, why they were castrated, and how they were castrated, starting with the how. Like I mentioned earlier, there are 2 general ways to castrate someone, surgically or chemically. In the grand scheme of things, surgical castration has by far been the dominant method, mostly because it's been around for a lot longer. Long before we devised chemical methods of castrating someone, we had big, heavy rocks capable of smashing them nuts and various sharp objects, plenty capable of severing a swinging dick or a swinging sack. The first recorded instance of surgical castration was over 4,000 years ago. Chemical castration wasn't invented until 1944. As we'll get into more later, 2 methods have vastly different impacts on the body, as I am sure you assume. Also, unsurprisingly, both methods have some of the same side effects. If someone is castrated, either surgically or chemically, the goal, in theory, is to stop their sex organ from functioning. To take, so to speak, the lead out of their pencil, steam out of their engine, fire out of their hearth. To take their balls and fuck them up so bad their dick can never get hard again and shoot come out of it. Bye-bye, Buttertown, so to speak. But for real, castration is designed to stop the production of sperm and also the production of testosterone hormones. While a vasectomy does not affect the production of testosterone, it just stops sperm from making it into and out of the penis and the testicles, castration eliminates or destroys the testicles altogether, lowering testosterone levels by over 90% by eliminating the body's primary source of testosterone production. In addition to sterility, impotency, bye-bye boner town, reduced or eliminated sex drive is the goal of castration. Other side effects of castration also include reduced muscle mass and strength, loss of body hair, enlarged breasts, anemia, and if the entire organ was removed, genital shrinkage. Other possible side effects of castration include obesity, hot flashes, depression, diabetes. Of course, you'll be a little more prone to depression if you get your cock and or balls removed. Osteoporosis that can lead to skeletal disfigurement and
Oh man, I've heard
immune
enough.
system.
I'm only 4 minutes
Last
into
one is
this,
weird.
5 minutes into this episode. I've heard enough. I just hear it, and then I think of all the things I learned in world history class, which includes that tip, dude. The Venetian boys choir, that was fucked up. They used to literally take boys and they'd be like, "Son, you're going to be famous," when they're like 11, 12. I'm talking about hundreds of years ago. And then they would cut off the boy's fucking testicles to make him be a singer for his whole life. Like that is so awful. And then there's like what was the cult? Heaven's Gate. That's the cult that did the castration too. Like, what the hell, man?
Tony couldn't bring himself to keep visiting Nicholas and his mom. It reminded him too much of Natalie.
I didn't feel like seeing them. I didn't feel like going to her house, so I always went there with them.
This is the
And Nicholas's
heavyweight
mother continued to
podcast.
reach out.
Jonathan
Nicholas really
Goldstein.
misses you, she'd write.
Episode 4. It's
Eventually,
almost over with
she
this
suggested
episode,
they
but
all
I'm
get
hoping that
together
it's
on
going to
neutral
roll
ground.
into the
Her
5th
sister's house.
episode.
So we did.
It's a good
Yeah,
podcast
we
if
set up
you
a
like
surprise dinner
This American
2 months
Life.
ago. And I went over, and they were really happy to see me.
Because it's like a
But at the same time,
40-minute
I noticed
installment
Nicholas's
of a
first
single
reaction.
act in This
He was
American Life.
kind of shocked, and I could see that all this stuff went through his eyes, and then he put on this kind of smiley, happy guy thing. I could read it all in his face right away.
And you think that was because Natalie wasn't there?
Yeah.
Tony's afraid that Nicholas won't want a relationship with him that doesn't include Natalie. Afraid that maybe he's not the godparent that Nicholas wants. But he also doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes. So he screws up his courage and goes back over for dinner, hoping he and Nicholas can connect again. But before Tony gets a chance to sit down, the very first words out of Nicholas's mouth,
But Tony,
Yes.
how's Natalie?
Natalie, she's okay.
If you just could get back with her, that would be lovely.
Why would that be a relief?
No, I want to see her again. We would never get to see her.
Yeah. That's true.
I only see you.
That's not enough. You will see her again, and she says hi. She's in Australia. Actually, she's in New Zealand.
You don't want to be in the places she is, right?
Well, I don't want to be in New Zealand because it's far away from everything that I do. My mother's here. My mother's an old lady. She's 85 years old, and she needs me. She can't live alone. So I can't go anywhere. So if Natalie doesn't want to be here,
It's over for you. It's over for you, old sausage.
it looks like that. But you never know. I'm not in love with anybody else.
they sit down on the couch and Tony faces the thing that's hardest for him to talk about, even with adults, let alone a child.
So are you going to be sad if you don't see her again?
A bit.
A bit.
Okay, just kidding, a lot.
Is there anything that you want to ask me about Natalie or anything?
Did you feel like a part of your heart broke up to pieces?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Very much. A lot.
Do you miss her a lot?
Yeah. I do.
Well, you should have said this. Come back whenever you come. You could come back whenever you want, or just say sorry or something.
Yeah. I did.
Okay.
I said sorry, and so did she. She had things to be sorry about too. And then I said come back. For a long time I said come back whenever you want. And I think she's decided not to. I think she's decided.
Maybe it's because Post Canada takes a long time to get a note. Really long.
No, but I read her on the internet.
Oh, internet?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense. I thought you brought it from Post Canada.
Tony's putting away his own feelings and focusing on Nicholas's, which is a very godfatherly thing to do. And Nicholas, for his part, seems to be straining on his emotional tiptoes to try to reach Tony. And together, they meet somewhere in the middle.
You remember when I baptized you, right? And you were crying. You were really upset. I had to pick you up. When I picked you up, you went totally quiet, and
Okay.
everybody was like, "So quiet," and everybody said, "You made him calm." And I thought that's cool. Maybe that's what godfathers are supposed to do. They're supposed to make people calm and be like, "Everything's okay. Don't worry about it," you know. But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
What kind of godfather do you want me to be?
I wanted you to be the same thing as you are right now.
Which is what?
You're a really good godfather.
I am?
Yeah. You're pretty good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to
And it's
say.
not a joke. You're really good. You're a
Good.
godfather.
Thank you. That's awesome. Cool, man.
And with that, Tony was a godfather. Because when your godchild tells you you're a godfather, you're a godfather. When I talked to Tony a couple weeks later, he'd already seen Nicholas again. They went to visit Tony's mom. He says she liked having a kid around, to wait on, to serve spanakopita.
She's laughing in her heart.
This is the best day that I ever had.
And it's only just begun.
Now that the furniture's returning to its goodwill home.
Hello?
Hey, Jackie.
Ah,
Hey, Jackie.
so I'm not doing it.
Hey, Jackie.
I was reading and taking notes on Lyme disease. I feel like it's more important right now.
Hey, Jackie.
Done.
Hey, Jackie. I said, hey, Jackie.
I think I hear my name.
There we go. Hey, Jackie.
I think I hear it again.
You're wanted on the telephone.
And if it isn't Johnny, I'm not home.
See, there you go.
Could I go now?
Do you remember when we used to sing that song on the school bus?
Yeah.
When's the last time you sang it?
In a while.
I sing it all the time.
Bye.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye. From Gimlet Media, I'm Jonathan Goldstein, and this is Heavyweight. Today's episode, Garett. When Garett found out I was living in New York, she sent me a Facebook message. Hi, Jonathan. I ran into an old friend from Montreal who mentioned that you got married and moved to New York City. Hope you are happy and thriving. Smiley face. I close Facebook, then open it again, reread the message, then close it. Open it, close it, check Twitter, open it back up again, and read it one more time. Garett was my first love. We dated when I was 18. It turns out that Garett was also now living in New York. Before her, the only people who'd ever even seen me naked were my parents and my family doctor. There was one experience with a girl named Darlene. As we kissed, she waited patiently as I snaked my left hand around her back in order to touch the breast kitty corner to the opposing hand. This maneuver almost left my shoulder dislocated from the socket, but it was worth it. I had reached second base. For US listeners, the Canadian base system is metric. 2 of our Canadian bases only equal 1.4 of yours, so I really knew nothing. But what need could a mama's boy, a boy loved openly, lavishly, and oftentimes insanely by his mama, have for romance? Until the age of 18, the mere act of making my bed in the morning was enough for my mother to proclaim me a genius, a saint. My great aunt, fingers brittle with arthritis, played endless games of go fish with me, and my grandparents, diabetic, palsied, and in continuous pain, would drop everything to watch me lip sync to the Bee Gees' Tragedy, a song they could have only taken to be about the pogroms. This feeling of unearned love, love for merely existing, that would all end with Garett. After asking around, I learned that, like me, Garett had remained single into her mid-40s. I only got married last year, and for me, this unusually long and circuitous path to the altar certainly began with my heartbreak over Garett. I'd always wondered if our relationship had the same impact on her. It now looked like I'd get my chance to find out, because a week after the first message, another one arrived. Garett wanted to see me. Why did she want to see me? Let me get a level on you.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. My name is Emily.
This is my wife, Emily. Unlike most people, she doesn't seem to mind when I bring along a microphone to hold between myself and the world.
I'm from Watertown.
Hello.
Hello.
We're walking to work together when I bring up Garett's invitation. In the short time I've been married, if I've learned anything at all, it's this. In matters of connubial delicacy, it's best to get straight to the point. So you know my first girlfriend, Garett, just recently got in touch with me on Facebook.
I know her name.
You do? Did you know that it means little wave in Hebrew?
Yes, you've told me that like 6 times.
Anyway, it's a long time ago. I don't know what you're getting so worked up about. So jealous about. She's living in New York now, and she wants.
Look at the smile on your face before you even get any words out. Look at the delight.
It's a delight to be walking to work with you. I don't know why I'm so giggly about this. But anyway, she asked if I wanted
Maybe that's a question you should ask yourself, Jonathan. Why are you so giggly about
I think
that?
you're making me giggly. But she asked if I wanted to get together.
Then you should.
Emily is not jealous. She trusts me. She's accepting not only of my quirks, but of my shortcomings too. Among them, a tendency to cut myself off emotionally. Where are you right now, she asks sometimes, when we're arguing, and I recede so deeply into myself that she can no longer see even a flicker of the man she married. What Emily doesn't know is how this defensive crouch all started. Like, I know sometimes you feel I could be sort of emotionally, I don't know, like stoic, I guess.
It's a generous term for it.
In some ways, I feel like as much as like my upbringing or my education or my whatever, like I just feel as though she probably played as major or maybe even more major a role in who I became. In that, like, I don't think I've ever been able to make myself quite as vulnerable as I was in that relationship. I just didn't know any better. I had no defenses. I had no game.
Isn't that what love is sort of about? Just being vulnerable in that way?
I want to be vulnerable with you, but I think in some ways... Sorry, I just dropped the recorder.